With Babbel, you can speak a new language. Babbel. Language for life. Celebrating 10 million subscriptions sold. Now try Babbel for free at Babbel.com. Just go to Babbel.com and start learning a new language today. That's Babbel.com. Babbel.com.
PR927FM.com is the Pirate Nation's home to stream Pirate Radio live or archived anytime.
Blake Harrell, defensive coordinator at East Carolina, is our guest. Tyler's such a great player, and obviously he's a key to Donnie Kirkpatrick's offense. How do you try to slow him down?
We just talking about that this morning. I mean, Tyler's he's a competitor, first of all.
Yeah.
Just love everything he does and what he brings to our football team. You know, you got to always know where Tyler's at, was the pass game, run game, play action, nakeds, boots, whatever it may be. And then if you want to double them, you can, but our offense has so many weapons that leaves somebody else free, so you got to be careful with that.
PR927FM.com, the voice of the Pirate Nation.
Find yourself working from home or at least spending more time there? Want some remodeling for your house or a fresh look? How about a new deck or screened-in porch to add livable space outside? Don't know who to call? Well, you do now. Call the professionals at R&R Remodeling. They've been serving the local community for 15 years. Ronnie and his crew can help you today. Call for a free quote, 252-286-4119, or visit R&R Remodeling on Facebook. R&R Remodeling, construction you can count on.
A car wash experience like no other is here at the new Tommy's Express. You'll enjoy a gentle belt conveyor ride through our bright, inviting wash as luscious foams and soft cloths treat your car like new. After a final rinse, wax, and blow dry for a beautiful spot-free shine in just about 3 minutes, help yourself to our free vacuums and mat washers. We're Tommy's Express.
Tommy's Express Wash, now open on the corner of Greenville Boulevard and Red Banks Road in Greenville.
UBE and PirateWear.com are proud to offer the Pirate Nation its largest inventory ever. Brand new Adidas is arriving daily, along with Under Armour, Columbia, and Russell Athletic. UBE is loaded with cargo, and new items are being added daily to PirateWear.com. Be sure to check out our children's store, The Crow's Nest, for all of your young pirates. UBE and PirateWear.com, an ECU tradition for 50 years. Go Pirates!
There's no better time to drive away with a quality pre-owned car, truck, or SUV from Greenville Auto World. Greenville Auto World is your authorized rough country dealer. We specialize in lift and leveling kits along with custom wheel packages. Whether you're looking for ground clearance or enhancing the appearance of your vehicle, trust our team for your off-road experience. Greenville Auto World, 3840 South Charles Boulevard across from Hardee's at Bell's Fork, or online at greenvilleautoworld.net.
University PC Care has been busier than ever repairing personal PC and Mac computers and iPhones during this pandemic. And we thank you for your support. Now, with everyone streaming and doing work from school and home, you may have discovered that your home Wi-Fi just isn't cutting it. It may be time to upgrade your home network, and University PC Care can help. To make a network assessment appointment and discover upgrade options that fit your home, go to talktowilliam.com or learn more at universitypccare.com.
Hi, I'm Annalie Newhoff.
And I'm Rob Campbell.
And we are with CopyPro. We have been locally owned and operated here in Eastern North Carolina for almost 50 years. CopyPro is the leader in office technology.
Does your business struggle with keeping printing costs low or producing professional documents? Here at CopyPro, total customer satisfaction is our #1 priority.
We have a variety of solutions to help reduce your printing expenses and make your business more productive. Call us today at 1-800-682-6558 or online at copypro.net.
CopyPro, we are the professional office systems people.
ECU baseball, we're there.
I asked Seth Goodell, this was the other part. I said, hey, can you get this bunt down? He says, Coach, I can do it.
ECU spring football, we're there.
Good to be back out on the field today, and pretty spirited practice, very competitive practice.
Every weekday, 3 to 6, we're there. Because Chandler's he's like high energy. You're having a good day today.
It's Friday, baby. It's Free Beer Friday. Let's go.
We're here.
We're there. We're everywhere. Pirate Radio Live, weekdays, 3 to 6.
This is Pirate Radio, WGHB Farmville, 1250 and 92.7 FM Greenville, WDLX Washington, 930 and 104.1 FM Washington. The following is an exclusive presentation of Pirate Radio, the voice of the Pirate Nation. This is Eastern North Carolina's longest-running sports radio call-in show. The Brian Bailey Show is on the air. The Brian Bailey Show on Pirate Radio is brought to you by
Bostic Sugg Furniture, East Coast Grading, Angus Grill, Greenville Auto World, Papa John's, Pepsi, Seared Chop House, Taft and Hagler, and by Tiebreakers.
And now, here's Brian Bailey.
Okay, happy Monday, everybody. The spring football game is in the books. The Gold knocked off the Purple by the final of 17-3. Tim Daoust, the special teams coordinator, defensive end, and linebacker coach at East Carolina, is live in our studio on this Monday to talk about the game. He was one of the members of the victorious staff on Saturday, so you guys get served tonight. Do the coaches get to serve you guys later on? Is Donnie Kirkpatrick going to have to bring you a plate of steak?
Trip Weaver. Trip's going to serve me.
Okay, Trip's going to do it.
Yeah, it'll be a good night.
That'll be fun because the losing team has to serve the winning team. So the Purple team, which I looked at the rosters before the game and really thought, hey, I think the Purple's got to be favored because I saw Holton Ahlers on that side, and I saw Tyler Snead on that side, and I saw some defensive players that I really liked on that side. But the fact is that a lot of the starters didn't play very long. It was a defensive struggle. It was 3-3 into the fourth quarter, and then I guess you had the idea to throw it deep to Cam Burnett, and all things went from there.
Well, as a defensive coach, I think that quarterback would have got hit pretty good on that ball.
Yeah.
But it was good throw and catch. And it did come down to the end. The defensive struggle, that's a good game. That's a highlight reel.
Some people would say that. And I'm one of those. I like a big slobber knocker type game. Lots of defense, lots of big plays. But really, the spring game, we've seen coaches come and go, throughout my career here at East Carolina. And some, they take the spring game more of a serious practice. Others take it more of a fun time for the kids. And I think Coach Houston kind of looked at anytime you do paper, rock, scissors before the game to decide who's going to kick and who's going to receive instead of flipping a coin, I think it kind of set the mood for the whole day. And the fact that Coach Houston had a smile on his face most of the day, that tells you a lot too, because I think the one thing that I came away with during this spring was that Coach Houston really likes what he's got on that team right now. And I think, when he got here, he kind of said, give us some time, year 3, year 4, and he said, we've got to have time to get our kids in here. And I think that makes a huge difference.
Yeah. I'm coming in early and the beneficiary of some of that early work because it's clear the attitude and the buy-in and the constant smile on his face all spring long that the program is headed the right direction. There is a real goal of winning a bunch of ball games this year and challenging people for 4 quarters all year. So the kids are excited going to work. It's fun to coach them every day. It's fun to be in the meeting room with them. They know that we've got a chance this fall to do some damage.
Tim Daoust in his first year now at East Carolina under Mike Houston, and he's the special teams coordinator, which if people have listened to this show before, they know I love talking special teams because I think it's the most underrated part of the game of football. Coach Ruff used to always say you got to, all 3 sides of the ball, and he would talk about special teams. I think Mike Houston has said it since he was hired that we got to be good on special teams, and that makes a huge difference. And I think in the past, it's not just you as special teams coordinator, but you take all the whole staff and you guys all put it together, don't you?
Yeah, and I tell you, Coach Houston gets it in a lot of different areas, but certainly special teams. For my first day here, he's highly involved, and it trickles down from him to the coaches being locked in and do a tremendous job with their particular assignments, and then their kids understand the importance of special teams. So from the greatest player on it, you talk about Snead being one of the most dynamic players.
He's very good
in the conference. Well, they don't say, protect Snead, let's go, let's get him out there. We've got CJ coming back at wide receiver. Well, he's going to be a great special teams player. We got some great secondary linebackers, running backs, and they're all out there. And we're constantly working it every day and talking it every day in the meetings. And I'm excited about the guys we're going to put around our specialists.
Tyler said he ran the opening kickoff back for a touchdown, but didn't get credit for it. He wants a review on that.
I watched it a few times this morning. I don't know.
Would he have gone?
Well, I tell you, you don't know with Snead.
That's right.
Because, a lot of practice, we don't always tackle. And then when we do go, I'm like, we've got him. And then we don't have them.
Right.
And good players.
Yeah.
So that's what Snead is. And, it's good to have him on your sideline, I'll tell you that.
He's a great, great player. Enjoyed talking to him on Saturday on the sideline. Let's take our first commercial break. We'll come back with more. We'll take your questions and comments on our Facebook Live page. So get those cranked up. Tim Daoust live in the studio with us. Back with more after this.
At Tiebreakers, we pride ourselves on serving
big, juicy wings.
I'm talking
big and juicy.
Our chickens are the same ones that kick sand in the other chickens' faces. If our chickens played football, they'd be linebackers. The competition's chickens, they'd be
skinny little kickers.
Trade those kickers in for linebackers.
Tiebreakers is open every day at 11 a.m. Follow Tiebreakers on Facebook and Instagram for daily updates.
Hi, I'm Ken Hagler of Taft and Hagler. We're proud to be sponsors of the Brian Bailey Show and the Pirate Nation on Pirate Radio, the voice of the Pirate Nation. If you've been injured on the job or due to someone else's negligence in an automobile collision, call us at 752-2000 for a free consultation with experienced professionals who care. Go Pirates!
I'm Michael Vaughn with East Coast Grading and Utilities. Many of you know my dad, David Vaughn, and his work in putting in subdivisions all over Pirate Nation. But East Coast Grading and Utilities is not just for those type of big jobs. We're here for the homeowners. Whether it's concrete, driveways, hauling rock, or sand, whatever you need, East Coast Grading and Utilities can get the job done. Call us at 252-531-7494 or check us out on Facebook at East Coast Grading and Utilities.
At U.S. Cellular, we see our customers as more than just customers. They're neighbors. When you switch to U.S. Cellular, you can get the new Samsung Galaxy S21 5G for free with no hidden requirements. As a neighbor, you deserve it. U.S. Cellular, America's locally grown wireless. Terms apply. See uscellular.com for details.
This is Brandon Tate, owner and operator of Atlantic Wireless, an authorized agent for U.S. Cellular since 1997. Visit atlanticwireless.com to find the store near you. We go beyond the call.
Hey Pirate fans, it's time to get that yard done right with the new John Deere mower from Quality Equipment. Our premium lawn care lineup is what every homeowner needs this spring. A John Deere will change the way you mow with easy-to-use attachments, effortless steering, and intuitive controls. Right now, save up to $700 on X300, X500, and X700 series mowers. Learn more at QualityEquip.com and get quality done right. Offer ends 10/29/21. Some restrictions apply. See dealer for details.
What's the big deal?
Where can you get pizza, bread twists, specialty chicken, and more for just $5.99 each?
Is it at Domino's?
He hands off hand-tossed pizza and a marble cookie brownie. He's going!
There's a lot of variety on the radio and at Domino's too, where you can
Mix and match 2 or more. $5.99 each at Domino's.
2-item minimum. Pan pizza, bone-in wings, and bread bowls will be extra. Ask for this limited time offer. Prices, participation, delivery area, and charges may vary.
Pirate Radio.
You know, I think this is a pretty blue-collar, tough, hard-nosed fan base, and that's where our teams are going to be.
The voice of the Pirate Nation. You're listening to The Brian Bailey Show. Now, back to Brian.
All right, welcome back on this Monday. Tim Daoust is our guest live in the studio talking about the spring football game. We're taking your questions and comments on our Facebook Live page, so get those cranked up. We'll get them on the air. Kenny has written in, and he was talking about Travion Freshwater, and he said that every time he got in the game, he thought he was doing some positive things, and a lot of eyes are on him because when he was recruited to East Carolina, I mean, he was highly recruited. He's a really, really good player, and I think a lot of folks hoping that maybe this is his coming out party soon.
Yeah, well, with Fresh, a local guy that got a lot of attention nationally, now is get here, and I'm probably his second or third coach. He's going to try to position change a little bit. And was really starting to turn the corner, and then he had COVID and was out for an extended period. And that whole COVID is very serious. So he was in isolation. So this isn't pickup basketball at the YMCA. You can't just fall back into football and think you're going to get it done. And we just had a couple practices before Saturday hit. And I said, hey, Fresh, you're going to screw up a couple things, but attitude and effort won't be one of them. And they said, go out there and run around and have fun. And he had some energy out there when I got him out there and did some good things. So the summer is critical for him to close the ground on some guys, get in good shape, and see if he can compete in the fall camp.
How good can he be from what you've seen so far?
Well, what I think he's got to do, we got to get him in really good physical condition. That quarantine period can really set guys back.
Yeah, I can imagine.
He's a big old kid. It's really light on his feet. and now teach them how to play, defensive line at the Division I level. So I think he can definitely be a contributor on our football team. Now he's still pretty doggone young, and a lot of those guys are. So we're going to teach him the best we can, and I think he should be expected to be a contributor as his years go on here.
Yeah, that's one of the things when you look at the defensive side of the football, especially that interior front. A lot of young kids that really last year during the COVID season grew up in a hurry.
Well, Coach Tesh has done a great job in instilling his personality on the kids to do things right and be tough guys, and that's what it takes at the line of scrimmage. So between Coach Tesh and I, we're going to continue doing that and stay on them to do the little things, because this isn't high school football anymore, and they don't care how old you are. So those kids got to have a good summer, get stronger. They took some growth last year, in the COVID season with minimal off-season training, and I expect a big jump that year last year to teach those kids learned on the fly, and it should be a big jump going into the summer and the next fall.
How hard is it when you guys get a recruit in? Because recruits come in and they've been the superstar for rent-a-car or whatever. They've been the guy for so many years at their high schools, and then they come here and they're with a bunch of other guys that have been the guys, and just once you get beat on a drill, you get hit here. I mean, how hard is it for those guys to get their confidence back and understand they still can be good, but it takes a while?
Yeah, and every kid varies, as you would imagine. Human nature is what it is, but those kids that can stay humble coming in here, and there's a lot of pressure they put on themselves or their families put on them and people outside of them now, especially with social media, but if these kids can just stay humble and stay hungry and understand that, yep, everybody was the best player on their team, listen to your coaches. It's probably my best advice is, hey, keep your mouth shut and go to work, because your teammates don't care about all that noise anymore. Just go out there and go to work. And those are able to do that. And the coaches that can have the patience and understand, hey, that was good, that was bad. And positivity normally works, but just make sure they're doing everything right along the way.
As a position coach, do you follow your players on social media? Because that's such a new deal in the last, decade or so. But do you have to follow them, and do you have to bring them in the office every once in a while and say, hey, knucklehead, this tweet right here, probably hitting the best tweet we could have put out there?
Yeah, I was a little reluctant to do it early on when these things were hitting in vogue, 5-6 years ago. But certainly to be a part of that right now, and you try to get ahead of it, right? And Coach Houston does a tremendous job, and just we're constantly talking to these young men, social media or not, how to live your lives and make good decisions. And then, hey, when you chose to sign that scholarship paper and come to East Carolina or whatever school it might be at, that hey, all eyes are on you, and you're not the same. So let's make sure we set as high standards.
And it's got to be hard on that same subject. The fact that in former times you play a game, maybe you chirp a little during the game. You shake hands at the end, you go about your business. Now you chirp. You go back on your bus, and then all of a sudden you can say, number 93, you're still a sissy or whatever. It's probably worse than that. But I mean, and you just can't do that. But it happens.
Yeah, like you said, we try to stay ahead of it, and that's never the right things to handle your business that way. Yeah. So our kids will do a good job with that.
I just think in this world that we live in today, it's just so difficult with everything these young guys are facing, the pressures that they face, and just the way, because they're brought up thinking that that's okay, because that's what they've been doing for a long time.
Yeah, well, you and I, we all faced our different temptations at different times too. Times have changed, and we got to do a good job as the adults in the room and show these kids the right way.
When you think back, you're like, 15, 16 years younger than me. What was big when you were in high school football?
Well, when I was in high school football was big to me.
Exactly.
I've been guilty of having a pretty shallow life. My family and football.
Myself included. Yeah, just sports and just go forward with that. I'm right there with you. Tim Daoust, special teams coordinator, defensive end and linebackers coach, in the studio with us today talking Pirate football and the spring football game. When you look at the spring football game, obviously the squads were picked by the captains and then the coaching staff. How did you guys figure out who was going to coach which squad?
Well, Coach Houston kind of split up the staff a bit, and then we talked as coaches, okay, let's make sure this is a competitive, fun game, and we kind of helped split up the groups a little bit. It wasn't pick by pick. We said, okay, if you get this player, you also get this player goes to the other side. So it was evenly matched. You wouldn't take, an easy example would be like Coach Shank, he have X amount of centers. You didn't want them all to get drafted on one team. So we made sure that the rosters were going to be even and the matchups didn't get out of hand. And it worked out to be a pretty closely contested game.
They look to me like maybe one of the problems with choosing teams like this on the offensive line, because, as the coaches will say, you want one nickel and not 5 pennies. And those guys are in such concert with one another. And when you split those guys up, that maybe you get a breakdown here, a breakdown there. Maybe that's one of the reasons we had such a defensive type scrimmage. as a defensive coach, you're saying, hey, we coached them up, and that's why we had a defensive type scrimmage. But I think that's one of the things, because wide receivers, they work with the quarterback just about every day, but sometimes it's just the little things in football. And those offensive linemen, they've got to know, what's what, where's the mic, and go from there.
Yeah, I think you hit on it pretty good, though. And Coach touched on it right away after the scrimmage. There were some guys out there in game-like situations for the first time in their careers, and there was guys standing next to guys maybe they hadn't so far this spring, playing the same position, but having a different guy next to you with different types of communications and things like that. So there wasn't a lot of familiarity, but those things can certainly come up in the fall. Shoot, we still have to battle COVID. Who knows what'll come up?
Yeah, and that's one of the things I was going to ask you about next. Now, you weren't here at East Carolina when the COVID hit. How did it affect you and your job, before?
Yeah, we were at Sam Houston State, and we had hoped to play in the fall, and we chose not to. And they're playing right now and doing a nice job. But we had spring ball in the fall there, but the same like it is here. Screening every day, testing the kids, and it really throws the kids off as far as the training cycles and all those type of things. So in meeting and learning, because we're coaches, that's a fancy word, but we're teachers, and the best way to teach is face to face in person. So there's some struggles with that went on there, and we battle them a little bit here in the spring too. So we hopefully can move as a country, past these things going forward. It really help everybody involved.
Yeah, with the shots coming out, the vaccines, and it's one of those things too. And I've talked to coaches before on the show about, I think the universal stance in a football program is, let's get the shots and let's get through this thing. But some are apprehensive, and you can kind of understand where there is some apprehension nationally. But as soon as I got a chance to get the shot, I was getting it, because I just not being able to see your parents for a while, and not being able to see other people, not being able to be around the team. I mean, that was that bubble and that whole deal during football. And last year's football season in East Carolina was totally bizarre. And it's your first year here, and hopefully we'll have 45,000-50,000 in the stands for your first game against South Carolina here. The first game obviously is in Charlotte, and we don't know what the crowd will be there, but hopefully that first home game will be really crowded. You get to see that, but to see the Pirates run on the field with 2,000-3,000 people in the stands, it was just so disheartening. And it was some good. The Navy game was back and forth, and it was a really good football game. But just not having any fans in the stands, not having any tailgating. On a Saturday when you ride around, and there's guys tailgating from 8 o'clock in the morning on, people out, and there was no tailgating involved because of the COVID. But it was just really a different time, and one of those times that I think we all agreed we hope we never have to see again.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, it was really tough. Tim Daoust is in the studio. He is the special teams coordinator. Now, as special teams coordinator at East Carolina, take us through what a typical day for you is when you get in season. So you play Appalachian State, and Pirates get a win over App State on that. Well, that would be a Thursday. But when you come into work on Monday, take us through what you're doing as the special teams coordinator. What are some of the aspects of your job?
Well, I won't go to bed on that night after the game until that film's looked at and graded, so we can put App State to bed that way. We'll review the tape with the kids and teach and learn and grow from there. But I was lucky when I got here. Ryan Smith is the special teams analyst that works with me, and I say right along with me, because he is a tremendous asset to me, and he'll have the next opponent ready to go with the scouting report ready, and we'll review it, his thoughts, and then I'll review all the film with him, and then get my ideas. And Coach Houston is heavily involved, so he and I will get together and talk about what we see as the best plan moving forward. We do a great job here at East Carolina. We'll do a lot of drills on Sunday night that I think is awesome, that Coach Houston has done throughout his career, where we just take the kids through fundamental circuits. You see as the season goes on, fundamentals, offense, defense, special teams will wear at times, but he does a nice job having it in place, that we have the core fundamental drills for every special team in place, and our kids will practice that on a Sunday, and then Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday we'll start implementing piece by piece, section by section throughout the week. We get to Thursday, kind of put it all together in one practice and smooth, make sure they understand the finer points of who the opponents are. But I'm kind of the philosophy, know and respect your opponent, but do an even better job of sharpening your own axe.
Yeah, and when you look at a special teams, a trick play, a fake punt, anything like that, a lot of times as fans, and even in the media, we think well, they must have seen something there. But on something like that, you've seen it down the line somewhere, and it's kind of manifested itself where when you guys run something like that, the probability of success is way up there. You guys aren't going out there and flipping a coin 50-50. I mean, you think, Coach, I think 80, 85, 90%, this is going to work. Now, sometimes they don't work, obviously, but that happens. But really, it's something you've seen, you practice, and the guys know exactly what to do when something's called.
Yeah, there's no paper, rock, scissors for that, right?
That's right. You can't do that.
If I look down at Coach Houston and we talk about running some, deception play, it better turn out pretty good.
I was going to say, if you run some trick play, Coach Houston will give you that side eye, and that side eye is not good.
Well, in football, like in a lot of other things, there's a lot of preparation that goes into it. So those decisions are made well before the game, and then the timing of pulling off is correct. But yeah, you have to make sure you're sound on special teams, and if you feel like you may be able to deceive somebody a little bit, then you got to be able to take advantage of it. And I think here with the personnel getting better and better and faster and faster and faster, it puts us in position to do some good things.
I told you I always wanted to be a special teams coach before you came on the air with us. And actually, when I was in college, I coached the junior high team. I was the defensive coordinator at Indian River Junior High School, and we were in a championship game. It was 4th and 1 at midfield, and I called the fake punt, snap it to the short back, and he took off and got 2 yards, thank God. And we won that game 14-0. We drove down, scored a touchdown. But so I can imagine, you're kind of a little nervous when you do something like that because the game can change on a play like that.
Yeah, you tighten up a little bit. Good thing you got it. Invited you back the next year.
That's right. And then I went into sportscasting because it wasn't that great a call, I guess, but it was a lot of fun. Tim Daoust joining us today. Someone has written in and said they saw a lot of gang tackling Saturday and speed on defense. You pretty happy with that?
Yeah, it's something that I saw coming in here as the new guy. I said, boy, we can really run. And the kids like football. I think you get a good gauge on your character of your kids. The way they run to the ball, the way they enjoy being around each other, and Coach Harrell's done a tremendous job. I mean, we get to the football, and if it lacks in a practice or a period throughout practice, we're going to address it. Immediately and then probably again the next day. And the kids get that. The standard that they've set from the top down is if you're not doing things the right way, you stick out pretty fast around here.
Tim Daoust joining us live in the studio. Let's take another commercial break. We'll come back with more conversation on the Pirates spring game. The Gold won at 17-3. Back with more on our show after this.
Hi, this is Jeff Charles, and this is a Pirate Radio Sports Break presented by Ron Ayers Motorsports, Highway 11, north of the airport in Greenville. The Pirates dropped a 6-1 decision yesterday to UCF at Clark LeClaire Stadium. Pirate pitchers walked 10 and hit 4 batters. ECU and UCF split the series, with each team winning 2 games. Pirates were 28-7 overall, 10-2 in the American. In second place, the Pirates head to Wichita for a 4-game series this weekend. The Orioles crushed the A's 8-1. Oakland had won 13 in a row. John Dean gets the win. The Braves lost a doubleheader to the Diamondbacks, getting shut out in both games, 5-0 and 7-0. The Yankees lost to the Indians 7-3. The Nationals were shut out, losing to the Mets 4-0. Tawan Walker had 7 shutout innings for New York for the victory. And the Hornets took care of the Celtics 125-104. Devontae Graham had 24 for Charlotte. The Hornets are now 30-30 on the season. It's been a Pirate Radio Sports Break.
North Carolina State Parks is proud to announce that they have partnered with the Hometown Strong program. Our visitor centers are now equipped with public Wi-Fi to help kids with school. Remote learning has become a critical public health measure in maintaining social distance and continuing to educate our young people. Take advantage of Wi-Fi and a hike at Goose Creek State Park or a day trip to the beach and access remote learning at Fort Megan State Park. For more information, visit hometownstrong.nc.gov.
In studio with Dr. Shondell Jones from Kinetic Physical Therapy. Dr. Jones, you guys are expanding and growing.
Yeah, we sure are. One of the things that a lot of people don't know is that we actually have a pediatric practice as well. It's called Kinetic Pediatric Therapy. We've got speech, physical, and occupational therapy there just for kids. If you're concerned about your child's development or just want to make sure they're on track, you can bring them in for a screen. If they need evaluation, we're able to do that and help them continue to develop. For more information, you can visit us at kptkids.com or give us a call, 689-6043.
UBE and PirateWear.com are proud to offer the Pirate Nation its largest inventory ever. Brand new Adidas is arriving daily, along with Under Armour, Columbia, and Russell Athletic. UBE is loaded with cargo, and new items are being added daily to PirateWear.com. Be sure to check out our children's store, The Crow's Nest, for all of your young pirates. UBE and PirateWear.com, an ECU tradition for 50 years. Go Pirates!
Sawyer's Fun Park is now open in Greenville. This state-of-the-art 40,000 square foot facility features a 2-story LED interactive laser tag, a one-of-a-kind 2-story ninja course, a ropes course with a 180-degree zip line, and it's only one of 5 in the country that are indoors. Multiple climbing walls, a super cool arcade with 40-plus games, and a brand new full-service cafe and bar for adults. Visit the brand new Sawyer's Fun Park, now open, located right behind ARU on Corey Road, Greenville.
This is Marcus Crandall, former ECU Pirate and Grey Cup champion, and you're listening to Pirate Radio, the voice of the Pirate Nation.
You're listening to The Brian Bailey Show. Now, back to Brian.
All right, welcome back on this Monday. Tim Daoust, he's the special teams coordinator, defensive end, and linebacker coach at East Carolina. Let's talk about what got you to East Carolina. What brought you to Greenville? Was it Blake Harrell first and then Coach Houston? Was it Coach Houston first and then Coach Harrell? How does that go?
Well, it started with Coach Houston a few years back. I got a chance to meet him at one of our coaching conventions. Some mutual friends hooked us up and really thought highly of him. Walked away very, very impressed with Coach, and told my wife today, I don't know anything will ever come of my interaction with Coach Houston, but big fan of him. You can tell right away that he and I aligned philosophically with how football should be played and how a program should be run. And the opportunity arose this year, got me on the phone with Coach Harrell, and then COVID was a little different. So,
yeah. Was that a Zoom?
It was a Zoom.
Oh, man.
It was me looking at all them.
It's got to be a little intimidating. You see them all the little squares across the screen.
Luckily I've done this long enough, so and confident in what you're presenting to the group. But yeah, good group of guys. Yeah. He wanted those guys to be comfortable with me, and likewise with them, and just a good group of guys. I know a good core of these guys have been together for a long time, off and on. Yeah. And they couldn't have been more welcoming to me and my family, so it's been great.
Yeah, we were talking during the commercial break, but Coach Shank has had so many different stints here. I can't even keep up with the count. I think it's his 4th stint this time. But and as I was explaining to you, and I've said this on the air several times, having the coaches come in, you get to meet them a little bit, get to know them a little bit, and then through the years, I mean, having Donnie Kirkpatrick and Steve Shankweiler and just guys like that, they're just genuine gems. I mean, they're just awesome people that are coaches, and they do something that in the community, and it's just really neat to go out, and that's the one thing that I missed the most, I think, through the COVID, was going out to practice, and just we get a chance to, usually with the video camera we can get the first half an hour. Sometimes Coach Houston will let us get some hitting drills we can put on the air and stuff, but just being out there a little bit and just speaking to the coaches, hey, how's you doing, how's the family, that kind of thing, and we missed all of that. Are you one of those in the Zoom factory that hopes that we never do a Zoom again the rest of our lives?
That's right. It served its purpose, and
it did.
Thank the Lord somebody came up with that smarter than me. But if I don't use it again, I'm okay with that.
Yeah, because it was truly something. And right now, recruiting is still oriented through Zoom, and I think June 1st everything gets back pretty much close to normal as far as recruiting goes. Is that
that's what we're looking at? We're buckling down for 7 days a week in June.
And we've got a spring high school football schedule through the North Carolina High School Athletic Association, and coaches can't even go to the games to see the playoffs. And there's some local teams that are playing in the Eastern Finals coming up on Friday night, and it's just a shame that these players, because sometimes as an assistant coach you're going out to see maybe number 12 for this certain team, but just the fact that you're out there, you might see somebody else that attracts your eye a little bit, and I think that's hurt some kids that might have gotten noticed.
Yeah, the in-person eval of a game, of a practice, of a workout, or on your own campus, those are so valuable to us. You really get to know the kid, whether the one-on-one interaction is great at camp, but if you can watch them interact with their teammates, that's very valuable. You want to know what you're purchasing. And this last recruiting class across the country was a little odd for everybody.
Do you guys all have recruiting areas that you have still? What's your area?
Yeah, we've all and coach has made made it a priority that we are East Carolina University, so we're gonna scout the state of North Carolina first and foremost, and I head over to the west side of the state where Coach is from in that area.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
He's a legend out there. I hear he's in 2 Hall of Fames.
Yeah, it's a little intimidating. There's a new guy between he and Coach Tesh and Coach Harold. Everybody knows him over there.
Yeah, they all are known out in the western part of the state, and Coach Houston, a couple of Hall of Fame. So, and he's relatively young, so he's getting it done all over. But hopefully, the Pirates will start getting it done coming up this week. We talked about the schedule a little bit, and really at East Carolina, I mean, you kind of know that you're playing some really good teams year in and year out. I mean, this is not a schedule for a patsy, is it?
No, it's not. You talk about the non-conference, then you get into conference. You could argue the AAC's rivals as much of those Power 5 conferences as anyone in the country.
And that's what's frustrating, I think, for teams in the American, maybe fans of teams that are in the American. The American Athletic Conference, football-wise, is probably better than a couple of those conferences. Think about the Pac-12, and they're right up there, if not better, and they just don't get the major money that those teams get. But as Mike Oresco has said, the commissioner of the American Athletic Conference several times, we've got to just do what we do. We just got to win football games. We got to beat Power 5 teams, and we got to because the TV contract for the American is better than the other group of 5 teams. But it's still, it's an uphill climb for the American. But it's one of those things that you got to take care of your own business. So, as East Carolina goes, they got to take care of their business, and as the American goes, the American's got to take care of its business.
Yeah, no question. And our business is pretty challenging from the get-go with App State, and then down there in Charlotte, and then rolling forward, and hopefully a packed house against South Carolina. But the business is business, and take care of it. And these kids got to finish up their finals, and we got to have a great summer. The summer is the next hurdle in front of us, and we got to attack that full speed ahead.
A couple of folks are writing into the Facebook Live feed. Maybe they turned in a little late. One of the first questions we had was on Travion Freshwater. Somebody asked if you could go over that a little bit again, but talk about his presence and his just what he brings to the table. You talked about his COVID issues earlier that really hurt him, but he's got a really chance to be pretty good.
Well, he's a big kid that's gifted with great athleticism. So we'll try to get him in shape, teach him the position, and have a great opportunity this fall to compete.
Yeah. When you look at your room, talk about some of the players that you really like in that room.
Well, they're good kids to be around. They like football. So the coach has done a great job identifying those kids, because if you don't love college football, it can really be a challenge. I always joke with the kids, you wanted one when you were in line at camp, and then you get that scholarship, you find out it's the real deal business. But some kids there at that end position with Freshwater, Manny Hickman played a lot of football last year for East Carolina. He had a nice spring, has bought into some of the things that I've talked to him about. Demir Faison did a nice job. He's a physical kid, tough kid. Summer's going to be very critical for those two kids to really battle it out, and football has changed throughout the year, so you need a group of guys. It's not huddle and hold hands in between plays anymore. You gotta have kids that can play 4, 5, 6 plays, get them out, get the next guy in there, and those guys. But then you got young guys like Freshwater and Kareem Stinson. Those two kids, Fresh and Kareem, they just look different walking in the door. They're bigger, longer, very athletic. Now we got to get their skill set up to some of those older guys that have played. You just can't replace the playing time of those first 2 young men that they've done. So we'll try to get those guys up to speed as fast as we can. It was very nice to coach to throw Jeremy Lewis on our side of the ball.
That was one of my questions coming up, because I'm a big fan of Jeremy Lewis, because I watched him play at South Central down the street.
Yeah, I'm a fan of him too.
I bet.
He likes football, keep Jeremy healthy, keep Jeremy locked into football, and I think his future is very, very, very bright.
Jeremy, when he played at South Central, and some of the coaches were out recruiting him back when you could watch a game and recruit like you're supposed to be able to, but I watched him, and he was always making plays on defense, but he was a tall, kind of rangy kid, and my first thought was, is he big enough to play college football? And that's the one magical thing that you as a coach and that all assistant coaches seem to be able to do, is they can envision 40 pounds of muscle on a kid and all the hard work that they have to go through, but you get on him and he turns into an outstanding player, and I think that's what you're looking at.
Yeah, I think he's going to be an outstanding player. I don't know what he looked like coming out of high school, but he's 240 plus now. The jersey's a little tighter. I razzed him pretty good this weekend about that. But he's going to have a great summer and be ready to go, because I found those guys on the edge of your defense. It's not the football it was years ago. You got to be able to run and cover ground sideline to sideline. Those kids that kind of look like basketball players, if you will, those 3 or 4 or 5s on your basketball team can be really good outside linebacker, defensive ends, and set the edge of your defense, rush the passer a little bit. And Jeremy, from the very beginning, he looks at you the right way. He wants to play defense.
And you have defensive ends these days, and you kind of touched on it a little bit, but they're almost like free safeties that come up to the line of scrimmage. I mean, they're not. Some of them aren't very big. Now, some guys are big. It's just a different way to kind of put it in there, isn't it?
Yeah, I think the profile of some of these kids has changed throughout the years, but you got to have one of those kids that I tell the kids, you got to be able to put your face in the fan and be ready, because it's nasty up there at the line of scrimmage. One thing hasn't changed.
Yeah.
The offensive linemen aren't getting any smaller.
No, they aren't getting any smaller. All right, you're listed as defensive end and linebacker coach. Now, put us through the X's and O's of what you deal with, and then what some of the other coaches on defense, what they play with.
Well, it's defensive ends, and I coach the outside linebackers. Coach Harrell, runs the defense and coaches the inside linebackers, because one thing that is evolving in college football, the offenses are very multiple in what they do. So a lot of defenses, and we're one of them, we can evolve and be very multiple as well. So, I've got the defensive ends and outside linebackers, and I tell the kids, hey, we're the edge of the defense. Whether you're standing on the line of scrimmage or back up at linebacker, we're the overhang players, the edge of the defense. Here at ECU, Coach Harrell handles the two inside linebackers and coordinates the defense. Coach Tesh coaches the two inside, the nose and the defensive tackle. Coach Ellis, the corners, and Coach Weaver has the two safeties, and with the Sam Backer, a lot of people call him a nickel overhang player, can do a lot of different things. A very dynamic football player for us. And we're lucky here at ECU. I mean, Coach Houston's passion is defense. So he spends a lot of time with us, and it's been another resource in the room.
Do you have guys that can play that defensive end and the linebacker and kind of switch back and forth?
Well, that's a kid like Jeremy Lewis, who you saw do a lot of different things in high school, and he's done different things since he's been here. Jeremy Lewis, Chad Stevens, Dre Terry, those kids, will give us the diversity to be able to do some things. And I think Coach Harrell's got some guys, as we developing more and more depth, that can help us out there as well.
Yeah, I'll tell you, it's fun to think about, a big defensive play, a big defensive series when the place is packed. I mean, because defense is emotional, isn't it?
Oh, it sure is. You can see our kids do it. That's not just in Dowdy Fickle on a Saturday scrimmage. That's every day at practice. They make a play, we all make a play. So it's been good fun.
That's one of the things that came out of spring too. One guy makes a play, we all make a play, and that was the scrimmage before the spring game was when the situational deal where Holton and those guys were at the goal line, and he threw the pass and got tipped, and then got picked off, ran back for the touchdown, and Mike Houston said Donnie didn't speak to him for 3 days because he put him in a bad spot. But that was a big play, and the defense loved it, man. All of a sudden, 11 guys were celebrating, and it turned into like 50 because everybody was on the field.
Yeah, and the momentum is real. And our kids got to be able to establish it when we need it. If the other team's got to be able to put our feet in the ground, that's the fun thing about defense too. You're the last line of defense. Put your feet in the ground and go swing it back to our side. And our kids, they seem to have the right attitude and effort when they take the field.
Tim Daoust live in the studio with us on this Monday afternoon, talking spring football at East Carolina. We'll take another commercial break. Back with more. Your questions and comments welcomed on our Facebook Live page. Back on the Brian Bailey Show after this.
If you love the food at Villa Verde, and hey, who doesn't? Now Villa Verde makes it even easier for you to order takeout. Tell us about it, Jay.
If you go to myvillaverde.com, you can order online, and we'll have it ready for you to go. Plus, you can pick it up at either one of our locations. No waiting in line to pay, and no waiting at all. Just pick it up and go. With online ordering from myvillaverde.com or from our mobile app, plus even from our Facebook page. Villa Verde, now with 2 Greenville locations to serve you. Villa Verde, a platform for good.
Hey, Eastern North Carolina, this is Miles Minges. And this is Landon Minges with Minges Bottling Group. We are proud to announce that Pepsi is once again the official soft drink of the ECU Pirates. That's right, Miles. Our family's purple and gold roots run deep. From founding members of the Pirate Club, alumni, and even a team physician, our support over the last 60 years has never wavered. We are Pirates. We're excited to be back at ECU and are honored to serve our great customers throughout Eastern North Carolina. Not only is this the birthplace of Pepsi-Cola, this is our home. Cheers, Pirate Nation. I like the sound of that. Support local, drink local, stay safe, and drink Pepsi.
Seared Chop House is Greenville's newest restaurant and the city's only true chop house. We combine a remarkable menu with an unrivaled atmosphere. Seared, a quality-driven experience highlighting a thoughtful approach to locally sourced ingredients and hearty, flavor-rich cuisine. We're firing up the grill at Seared, Greenville's only true chop house. Come see us, Fire Tower Road at Bells Fork or SearedChophouse.com.
Save during Bostic Sugg Furniture's Spring Styles event. Freshen things up, make a statement, and make it exciting. Save on new looks, new colors, new styles. We have so many beautiful ways to update your home. Explore our 35,000 square foot showroom. From name brands like Bassett, La-Z-Boy, Rowe, Kincaid, and Restonic, get up to 15% off plus 6 months special financing, or get special financing for 48 months. Step up your style right now at Bostic Sugg Furniture.
First came the PCC location, then came the ECU location on Jarvis Street. Now introducing the newest store at 10th Street at the Food Line near Walmart. It's Angus Grill 3. 3 restaurants featuring all of your favorite burgers and more. They've got your classic Angus, steak burger, brisket burger, black and blue burger, sweet sriracha burger, jalapeno popper burger. You get the idea. Now with 3 options for the best burger in town. Angus Grill at PCC, Angus Grill at ECU, and now Angus Grill at 10th Street in the Food Line Shopping Center. It's Greenville's best burger, times 3.
This is Mark Washington with Max Sports Performance at Max Fitness. Our facility has reopened and is following all safety protocols. The best thing you can do to strengthen your immune system is, of course, to work out and exercise on a regular basis. I can assist you as your performance coach. You can also enjoy the benefits of a private facility. Avoid the crowds and work out at Max Fitness. Now is the time to get healthy. Max Fitness, just off Highway 43 in the old Ace Hardware building behind Speedway in Greenville. Call me, Mark Washington, 902-4877.
This is Brian Bailey, host of The Brian Bailey Show, and you're listening to Pirate Radio, the voice of the Pirate Nation.
You're listening to The Brian Bailey Show. Now, back to Brian.
All right, welcome back to this Monday. Tim Daoust live in the studio with us, taking your questions and comments on our Facebook Live page, talking about the spring football game. Gold won it 17-3. In case you missed it earlier, we were talking about the fact that the Purple players and coaches have to serve tonight. And Trip Weaver, a former Pirate, he's going to, he was on the staff a while back and then came back, and he's going to be serving you your steak. And are you going to be like Xavier on Saturday? He said he wanted Gatorade with 3 ice cubes.
No, I'm pretty simple. I saw that order. I saw that online.
I thought that was hilarious.
It'll come around and get you if you're too greedy, so you got to be humble.
All right. Somebody wrote in and asked, Paul writes in that says you have a young family. We were talking about your young family, 3 young daughters. How are they settling in the Greenville area? It's a great family town.
It is, and I had been told a lot of good things about Greenville. Some friends that had made their way through the area in the past, and I know Coach Schenkel before I got here, but it's lived up to its expectations. You hold your breath, and having a young family, moving your kids from school to school, but it worked out great. My oldest loves her school. It's worked out really, really well. So we're excited now. The pool's going to open up soon. The weather's going to be great because we're a bunch of Northerners, so we're excited that
bunch of Yankees.
Yeah, but we quickly learned to like the South. So we looked at each other and said, I don't know if we're going back. So this is pretty nice.
So there's 7, 5, and 3.
That's right.
And in a decade, there'll be 17, 15, and 13.
We're just trying to get them to bed tonight. So let's not talk about my future.
Oh man, I'm telling you. Oh, that's gonna
I got a good wife.
Well, hey, you're gonna need a good wife, and you have to be strong, because I'm telling you, and I'm saying that I'm not being just girls, because boys at 17, 15, and 13, they would be difficult too, because I've gone through a boy and a girl, so it's really neat though, and just to watch them grow up. And my daughter's now, I think she's 32, my son's 28, and to see them with their families. Now I've got 2 grandchildren, and it's just I don't even think I'm old enough to be a grandfather, but I've got 2. But you'll really enjoy that. But I tell you what, then they'll love, however long you're here, they'll really enjoy Greenville, because Greenville is a great family town.
It's been good. We've got a softball game tonight with one. I'll take another one to dinner with me, and the other one we'll do paper, rock, scissors over.
Yeah, during football season now, how much are you involved with the family deal? That's got to be hard.
Well, what you find is, your passion is you go to work and coach football every day, and you got to marry the right woman, and I certainly did. But when you do have family time, you value it. You don't waste that time, and you really enjoy each other. So it's good it's always a lot more enjoyable after a win. So we'll make sure we do that on Saturdays. Enjoy Saturdays. If we could start every game at 10 a.m., that'd be great too. So you can have a Saturday evening with your family. But you enjoy your time. You learn to value that time. You don't waste it. So we do that.
And I'm not sure, looking at your past, some of the guys you've worked for, but some coaches really emphasize that. I think I've heard from Coach Houston says that sometimes it's like, get out of the office and enjoy your family, and when it's time to work, it's time to work, but sometimes you got to get out and do that.
That was exactly the line he used with me, because that's my deal is this was a very appealing job to me, but I'm going to be a father and a husband, and he makes sure that we're able to do that. Now that doesn't take away from your work. You do a good job of your work, and the better job you do of your work and recruit the right guys and efficient with your work, you can enjoy more time with your family and have some peace of mind when you go home, and we're able to do that here. A group of us got together yesterday, and we had a lot of fun. Coach said, those who move forward with COVID, those we'll have some victory meals together and bring your families around. And that's what Coach wants.
And that's it means so much, because so much of your time is taken up in staff meetings and in preparation for games, and you put your heart out there, because coaching is just not a profession where you just go 9 to 5, and because there's so many intangibles that go along with it.
Yeah, it certainly is, and I've told my players all the time, there's not a time that I turn my phone off. The ringer's on at night every night, and they know they can get a hold of us. And that's the fun thing, because it's relationships. You go in their living rooms traditionally and recruit them, and through their high schools, and talk to them and tell them you're going to take care of them. That's your job. That's your job to do that, and you signed up for it, and that's as big as anything we do, to try to make them the best version of themselves. And to me, part of that is letting them into my family as well, and knowing that, hey, I am a husband and a father, and get to know my kids.
And that phone rings after midnight. Does your heart drop a little bit before you find out what's exactly going on?
Well, they're normally not just checking on me. That is true.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, but like I said earlier in the show, if you stay in front of things and you do a good job with the kids and your program, and the right culture's been developed, and that's what I see here at ECU, then those calls are minimized.
Yeah, and we haven't talked about this aspect of it, but basically when guys are recruited, and then some coaches call it de-recruiting, when you get them to camp and they realize that it's difficult, it's hard, and then there's another saying around here is I-95 eyes, where they can look in their eyes and say they want to get back on 95 and get go home, because it wasn't what they thought it would be. Hopefully you won't see any I-95 eyes.
Well, what I think you do, and for good or for bad, I shoot kids pretty straight.
Yeah.
This is what it is. College football anywhere in the country, if you want to be a part of a winning program, it takes work. This is football, and football has changed to some degree, but it takes toughness, and toughness always wins out. And you're honest with those kids. You recruit the right kids, and I don't know a coach that shot 100%, but you try to do the best you can and gather as much information as you can. Hopefully, we get back on the road. It makes it a little bit easier to gather that information. But get the right kids and treat them the right way. I didn't say hug them every day.
Right.
It's football. And
it's tough love, though, isn't it?
To me, I guess I would say I was raised that way as well.
Right.
And I want the 20-year-old, 22-year-old version of my own children to love me. So you do what's right. And I tell the kids, hey, discipline is love. So get used to that. I'm going to give it to you.
Yeah, and that's what, I think a lot of young, especially, I think these days, just because there's so many things out there that we've talked about a little bit with all the social media aspects and everything, but there's still, there's that thinking, well, he's getting on me that I don't like him now, but then later on they realize, and I've told this story before, but we had a young photographer with me one day, and he was telling Coach Ruff that I was always on him. And Coach Ruff turned to him and said, let me tell you something, son. The minute he quits getting on you, that means he doesn't care anymore. And that's when you're in trouble. And that really speaks volumes, doesn't it?
It really is. That is a Coach Ruff pulling one from, an old coaching saying, right? And that's the truth. If you see something in them, you're going to do everything you can to get it out of them. Yeah, and that's certainly the truth.
All right, Tim Daoust is in our studio today live at the noon hour, so we'll have this show repeated. If you missed some of it, you can watch it later on tonight. We'll take our final break. We'll come back. We'll wrap things up with Coach Daoust. Get him out of here. Get him working till the fall after this.
Here with Melissa from E&S Hemp Company. Melissa, tell us how your products and services can help people.
Well, for over 2.5 years, the team at E&S Hemp Company has been helping educate our community on the many benefits of our products. Our customers have seen great success dealing with everything from stress, anxiety, fatigue, pain, and PTSD, just to name a few. You can come in today and our staff can help you find the best products for your needs. You can visit us at Fire Tower Road near Sam Jones Barbecue or enshempcompany.com.
Wait up. Papa John's has a new stuffed crust. Oh, we did it. All our tweets, DMs, and carrier pigeons worked. This ain't just stuffed crust. This is Papa John's crust. Stuffed.
Hey, Pirate fans, order the new Epic Stuffed Crust One-Topping Pizza for only $12. The new Epic Stuffed Crust Pizza is the MVP move for game day or any day. Place your order online at papajohns.com and sign up for Papa Rewards. Papa John's, the official pizza of the ECU Pirates.
There's no better time to drive away with a quality pre-owned car, truck, or SUV from Greenville Auto World. Greenville Auto World is your authorized rough country dealer. We specialize in lift and leveling kits along with custom wheel packages. Whether you're looking for ground clearance or enhancing the appearance of your vehicle, trust our team for your off-road experience. Greenville Auto World, 3840 South Charles Boulevard across from Hardee's at Bell's Fork, or online at greenvilleautoworld.net.
Hey Pirate Nation, this is Sam Jones, and we're open and here to serve you with some of the best whole hog barbecue, chicken, turkey, ribs, and homemade sides every day for lunch and dinner. There are 3 easy ways to enjoy Sam Jones barbecue. Swing by our drive-thru window or try one of our 2 curbside takeout options by calling in your order at 689-6997 or ordering online at samjonesbbq.com. We love Eastern North Carolina, and we invite you to come by and enjoy some great tasting Sam Jones barbecue today.
The Farmville Flower Basket has everything you need to make this Mother's Day one to remember. With brands like Simply Southern, Southern Couture, Bella Cotton, Lily Grace, Brewmate, and Scout Bags, you're sure to find a gift that is as unique and special as Mom. They also have a wide variety of fresh flower arrangements available for delivery for most of Pitt County. Everything you need to make this Mother's Day a great one is at Farmville Flower Basket. Give them a call today at 753-4217 or stop by their shop on Main Street in Farmville.
The best place for delicious food and great prices is Familia. Familia has something for everyone, like New York-style pizza, lasagna, chicken, veal, or eggplant parmesan, homemade meatballs, plus a variety of seafood selections and favorites, like the steak burger and southern pork chop. If you need food to go, Familia's drive-thru window is open and ready for all takeout orders. Familia, Fire Tower Road near Pitt Community College, and FamiliaNC.com.
This is Brian Packard, ECU former baseballer. You're listening to Pirate Radio, the voice of Pirate Nation.
You're listening to The Brian Bailey Show. Now, back to Brian.
All right, welcome back. Tim Daoust live in the studio with us as we wrap things up on this edition of the Brian Bailey Show. Next week, Donnie Kirkpatrick comes in to the studio, and we'll wrap up the spring season for good. So we're going to take an extra week and have Coach K on. Donnie Kirkpatrick will keep you entertained, won't he?
He will. You better extend it more than an hour.
That's right. Well, Donnie's the type you just say, Coach, how's the spring go? And then you say, okay, thanks for joining us. We appreciate it. Let's see you next time.
I told my wife, I said, hey, I like Coach. Yeah. It's a good time, and I was happy to meet his wife. Great lady, and it's going to be a fun fall.
Yeah, it's got a good staff, and it really, he's the kind of story for every situation. So we'll have Donnie Kirkpatrick on coming up next week. All right, as far as your room is concerned, what are some of the things that you this week that you work on, because you won't have the guys again per se? Do you get them a little bit from time to time, and then you don't get them until fall camp in August?
Well, the rules have evolved. This week we'll meet with them one-on-one and talk about the good and bad and what we need to do moving forward with any shortcomings they may have, academically, socially, or on the football field, and clean up this week, and then let them take their finals. They get a brief break and then come back the middle of May. And then we hand them over to Big John in the weight room. Right. But the NCAA is wisened up. We can use some time with those guys to meet and do it on the field on a limited basis. And we'll do that this summer. Very intentional, clear work of what we need to do. But it'll be a balance between working with those kids and recruiting, and June will be a busy month.
Yeah, and you have camps come, into Greenville, thankfully. I know that's another thing that you missed out on. We all missed out on last year, and where you were, I'm sure camps are a big deal too. So that's just one of those things that's another recruiting tool, isn't it?
It really is. In a place like ECU here in Greenville, we've got a lot to show off. So get a kid that's going to be a rising senior or a young kid and get us on his radar as fast as we can. So we've got a great facility and a great coaching staff. So we're proud of what we have here.
What are you looking forward to most about just getting started this summer and the start of a season? Because seasons are just it's almost like you write a book each year, and you go back and you refer to chapters of your book from your former, where you've been before, and all of that. But every season is its own entity. It's really, just I say magical a lot, but because there's so much unknown going into the season. How are you going to handle this? How are you going to handle that? And you get to go through it, and you get to refer to it afterwards.
Yeah, I look forward to now I've got to know Coach Houston better and Coach Harrell better. I clearly identifying things for our kids in my room to get better with on defense or special teams, and then seeing those kids improve and make those kids and that then therefore the team turn into a better version of themselves than where we were this spring. And I want to see if we can't just get this team back to a bowl game and challenge for a conference as fast as we can.
Are you on game day? Are you on the field or up in the booth?
Well, those things we'll talk about here as we get.
Haven't decided yet?
Yeah, we haven't. We got to clear that up. On defense.
What's you like better?
Teams, there's
good and bad in both, isn't
there? There's good and bad in both. And I've gone back and forth. If you just want to be removed from the emotion and clearly see the game, you can't replace the press box.
Right.
You can gather so much information with your eyes up there, and the game happens at a little bit slower speed. It's a challenge to do that on the sideline because you're on that side view and you try to stand in front or behind the offense or defensive line. It's a little bit of a challenge, but you can't replace looking your kids in the eyes and seeing what they're ready for and what they can handle and getting them through some of the ups and downs of a football game.
And I would say that's the one thing maybe we've learned through Zoom, that sometimes, even in a situation where you think you can see somebody, you can get somebody on the phone during a game and you're in the press box and you can say, okay, here's what I saw. What did you see? But if you get somebody that can tell you what they saw, one of your coaches, one of your grad assistants or somebody, and you can look a kid in the eye and you can really, I would think if I were a coach, I would want to be on the field because I think just the hands-on experience and being down there. And of course, I've always liked watching the games from the sideline. A lot of people say, why would you want to watch on the sideline? You can't see anything. But to me, you feel the hits. You smell the smells. I mean, you're right there involved in it. And I just love it.
Yeah, I guess I recall as a young guy, my dad walking all the way to the top of the bleachers and telling me this was the best way to do it, so I did it. But you know what? I think the great thing here, the best stabs that I've been on, it didn't matter where you were at because with the group of us, we were going to figure it out and do a good job making the right adjustments and putting the guys in the right spots.
How much Appalachian State film have you already looked at?
We've taken a good look at it. A veteran ball club, but intermixed. We had a little bit of downtime with the COVID break. So we peeked at some of those things. That's going to be a heck of a challenge. And I think that win could turn into more wins for us. It'll be a great challenge for both teams. Got to circle that as a game that both teams are going to say, we got to go get this one.
How hard is it as a coach, even as an assistant coach, when you look at the schedule, to just look at that one game? I mean, obviously, and you guys do a little bit of, because Coach Houston has said before, with Navy on the schedule, you have to work on them every once in a while just because it's such an odd deal you have to go up against. But even looking, you have to look a little bit past, but for the most part, you're not looking past anything.
Well, you don't look past anything, but I think you have to make sure nothing sneaks up on you. So you take a big picture view, with me and special teams. I'll make sure that I have a good picture of what we're going to see and we're prepared for in the fall. You don't want to be in a hurry that week of the game. So make sure that your scheme allows you to put your kids in the best position, and we'll do that defensively as well. So, but then once you get into the week to week of the season, I'd say there is no problem. I guess the longer I've coached, it is week to week, and it's such a challenge to win college football games. So have those kids locked in and ready to go.
Is there a great special teams trick play that you've had in your past that, without giving anything away, that you could share with us?
Not share with, but we were really in the 5 years I was at Syracuse, we had a lot of fun on special teams. We did everything we could to scratch and claw to get extra possessions as we moved to the ACC, and we had some good specialists. So we did some good things.
A little fake field goal,
We had some field goals. We had some punts.
Fake punts.
We kept people on their toes.
As a punting unit, would you rather just snap it and kick it, or do you like the rugby style?
I like not letting the other team know what we're doing. And I don't mean that to keep a secret from you. I don't want the other team to say, okay, this is who they are in every down. That's offense, defense. Philosophically, I want to keep that other team having to prepare for some things. So we will be well-rounded.
Yeah, and it's just, sometimes you see that rugby guy jog over there, and sometimes the defense doesn't react. I mean, that's part of the plan, right?
That's right, and just keep going.
Yeah, just keep on hauling and make sure you get to that stick.
That's right.
Because then the special teams coordinator gets in a little bit of trouble, and that's not always good. When you look at the season ahead, what's the one thing you look forward to with the season coming on? That Thursday night in Charlotte, do you think the guys are, and I asked Coach Houston this, if he was going to walk through like on Wednesday. I don't think they are. Teams don't walk through anymore, but I would say playing in Charlotte, especially with this young team, that's going to be an eye-opener.
Well, I think our kids will be excited to play. They've proven that to me. So, we'll keep them locked in and ready to go. And I think, I'm excited to go to battle with this new group of kids for me that have put in a lot of work to get this program back on the right track.
Fall camp can be a grind when you look at camp. Do you look at it as, and it used to be more of a grind because you could do more. Now you can't be out there for so long.
Yeah, the days are equally as long.
Right.
We get the kids, but we're not on the field as much as even when they come into high school. So you might have practiced longer in high school, but we're going to probably practice you a little bit harder and faster tempo and more meeting and more lifting. So a grind in as far as the duration of it. But I guess my mind's never worked that way because I've just loved this game and the things we can do for young men with some of the challenging situations we put them in.
Any young players that will be in soon that you're looking forward to in your room?
Well, they're on the edge of the defense. We don't have an incoming kid, but there's a large contingent of specialists that are going to come in and compete right away. So it'll be good there.
And we really didn't touch on this, but as far as specialists go, some programs look at the second and third teamers to give them a chance. Some programs use starters, and some programs use a mixture of both. And you're kind of saying, hey, we're going to put the best players out there.
Well, as you look at it, and as the good programs develop, especially defensively, you don't just have first string. You don't just play 11 guys on Saturday.
Right.
And this is a good way, for your guys that are those 1Bs that are going to play valuable snaps for you on defense to also contribute and get some experience under the belt on special teams. And that's what I see happening here. We've got some good young personnel that can really run and like to hit. So I'm excited about those coverage units and return unit. We'll be a good guy.
Final thought. What's it like as a special teams coach when you call for a block on a punt and you block that baby and somebody scoops it up and runs it in for 6? What's that like?
Well, anything you call something and it works out just like when you visioned it the night before. Hey, you're the hero, but it can flip the other way too. The special teams I found, well, boy, it's just misery on times on Saturday. It's like, okay, who's healthy, who's not healthy, and get them out there and execute at a high speed because you just want to keep the momentum going. But like I said, we've got the right guys in place. I think we can tip the scales for the Pirates as many times as we can.
All right, Coach. Thanks so much. Enjoyed the visit.
Thank you, Mike.
And welcome to Greenville. And welcome that young family of yours to Greenville as well. Tim Daoust joining us today. Donnie Kirkpatrick next week right here on the Brian Bailey Show. We'll see you back here next Monday. Have a great day, everybody.
This has been the Brian Bailey Show, brought to you by
Bostic Sugg Furniture, East Coast Grading, Angus Grill, Greenville Auto World, Papa John's, Pepsi, Seared Chop House, Taft and Hagler, and by Tiebreakers.
Join us next time for another edition of The Brian Bailey Show, exclusively on Pirate Radio, the voice of the Pirate Nation. This is Pirate Radio, WGHB Farmville, 1250 and 92.7 FM Greenville, WDLX Washington, 930 and 104.1 FM.